Hi, it's Kuma. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another zine video. Yesterday I had the chance to go to LA Zine Fest for the very first time. It was supposed to be outside next to the Broad on the lawn because they were expecting rain. It was very windy. They just moved it into a parking garage. They tried to do a little bit of crowd control by limiting the number of guests who were entering the garage, but it was still very, very crowded. Yeah, it was pretty wild. My only other experience with attending a Zine Fest has been at the Anaheim Library, and that is such a chill, small event, at least when I attended. So this was very different, but still was a great time, and I'm glad that I was able to go. Of course, I picked up a lot of zines. Zine haul. The very first zine that I bought was at my friend Amanda's table. This is Amanda's handle here. I met Amanda through a mutual friend, and she gave me a lot of advice for when I first started tabling. I was happy that I actually had the chance to meet her finally, and I had to support and buy some zines, so let's go through them. The very first zine I picked up, it's called From Me on a Good Day to Me on a Bad Day, and it's in this really cute sealed envelope. And it has this beautiful wax seal on the back. I love the idea of reading a letter that you've written to yourself on those days where you're not feeling yourself and you're not feeling your best. So I thought this was a really fun zine, and it was really fun to open up. I'm not going to read it out loud because I want you to experience this for yourself, but overall this was a really sweet zine. The next zine that I got was a guide to risograph printing. I don't know if this is pronounced riso or risograph. I've heard it pronounced both ways. On the back in Japanese it says risogurafu, so maybe it's risograph. This just goes through common mistakes to avoid when doing risograph printing. It's just really illustrative, really cute, and very bright. I would love to try this method of printing someday. I love the effect that it has, and I tend to buy a lot of art that is printed this way. Lastly, Amanda gave me some cute bookmarks. I didn't know this, but Amanda apparently makes a webtoon called Ghost Its, so check that out too. I used to love reading webtoons. I need to get back into that, so I will definitely check this out. I'm so glad that I was able to visit your booth and pick up some of your items, so thank you so much. This is a zine my partner picked up. It's called Breath Between the Lines by Monpreet, and her Instagram is Monpreet and the Sun. It's just very beautifully printed. I think we were both kind of captivated by the colors and just the imagery in the zine, and this is meant to help with meditation. Very visually pleasing zine, so definitely check out Monpreet. At Zine Fest, they had a zine archive table where you can't purchase zines, but you can feel free to flip through them and read them. And I saw this zine on the table and fell in love with it. So when I saw it, I had to pick it up. And it's called Peeling Tangerines by Spring Tangerines on Instagram. It's very beautifully written and beautifully illustrated. It just reminded me a lot of my bachan and how we would eat mikan together and how she would always peel fruit for me. It made me feel very emotional, but also very comforted. I love this zine. I think it's so beautifully done, and I'm so glad that I was able to pick this one up. The next zine that my partner picked up was AI for Who's Good? Lessons from Community Resistance to Automation at the Port of Los Angeles. And this is by Sophie Wang and Taylor Cruz. Though there is so much information in the zine about automation and how it affects the local people, the information is laid out so nicely and clearly. The data visualization is so well done. I felt like it was easy to consume because of how the information was laid out. Sophie can be found here. Check out Sophie for something different and educational. The last zine that I picked up was by Eloise Ray, and this is called Bloom. The back says, "What happens when a summer crush grows into something more?" I just fell in love with the illustration style. I am obsessed with it. I just love the full page illustrations and the sketchy style. It really does emulate the feelings of a first love or first crush, and it's playful, it's funny, I was laughing while I was reading it. I will try to find their handle and it will be here, but I absolutely love this zine. The thing I love about zines is how different they all are. You can have one that's very educational, or you can have one that has no words at all. I just love how each zine comes from the heart of the creator. My goal was to make a zine. I'm gonna still try to do that, but I did hurt my wrist. This is just a recurring injury that is the culmination of gaming, pole dancing, crafting, and editing videos. So if you're watching this, take this as a sign to do some wrist stretches. We will make something because I really want to make more zines. So let's just take it easy on this video and see what we can even make. I've had this idea for a zine for a while now called Look When You're Sad, because on my phone I actually have an album of screenshots of conversations I've had with my friends that always make me smile and laugh, and I look at that when I'm having an off day and it does make me feel better. I'm thinking about just compiling those screenshots and putting them in a booklet, but I want a little bit more exposition, so I might write the context of the conversation so it's not just screenshots. So I think I'll start this process by just compiling those screenshots into a document on my computer and then seeing like the layout and the format I want the zine to be in and go from there. I just finished working on the front and back cover for the zine. I went with an iPhone concept to really emulate that whole texting idea. I chose a light pink because it's a little bit softer. I was originally gonna go with red because that's the color of my actual iPhone. I could have probably taken a screenshot and used that for the cover, but for some reason I was like, no, it has to be vector. I put my socials on the back because I think that's always helpful to have. And I don't know the thickness of my zine yet, so I figured it'd be good to have a little bit of a gutter there for the spine, so when I fold it, it kind of lays a little bit more flat. After doing some quick measurements, I decided on this size for each page, just so that it's not the same size, so when I cut it, you won't see it from the outside. Because it is a fun shape, I don't want the other pages to peek out, so I just chose a size that was a little bit smaller. And then when you have two together, it still will not show. So that's kind of what I have so far. I am going to work on the individual pages now, and I think once I have like a template going, it should go pretty quickly. This was actually a photo album that I made during the midst of the pandemic. Everyone was dealing with so many different things during that time. It was a time of a lot of uncertainty, confusion. Despite everyone having very different situations and very different experiences during the pandemic, I think that we can all relate on the fact that it was a very strange time. My phone kind of died while I was talking, but anyway, the point is that I made this during a time when I felt very alone. Physically, I wasn't able to meet up with people that I normally met up with. And so I think having this album just of conversations with other people that I care about really reminded me that I wasn't really alone. And that's kind of the meaning of the zine in a nutshell. You know, loneliness, sadness, confusion, and wanting to be comforted are just universal things that we all feel all the time. So I hope that this zine makes someone reach out to someone that they care about and leave a little supportive message. This is an idea for each page layout that I have. I'll just show you an example page. So this is a conversation between my friend and I where she's drunk texting me and she says, "I've been drinking." I said, "Yes." She said, "I've been drinking." "I know. Pretend I'm Beyonce singing though." "Oh, got it." And then I just add a little blurb at the end. So this one I wrote, "I will always welcome a drunk text from a good friend. To know they thought of me at their most vulnerable is a special kind of feeling." I just made it look like a little pop-up, so it kind of matches the whole UI theme that we have here. That's the layout for each page. There's like a combination of heartfelt and funny ones just because I think it's fun to read both. It's been fun. I went through all the ones in my album, but I actually found a lot that I didn't have in there. It's fun to read back. Which one do you like the most? I just finished laying out the pages of my zine on my Illustrator document. So I have my front and back covers, and then I just have my pages here that will print front and back, and then I will saddle stitch them together and compile it all into a zine. So I'm going to print that out now, and hopefully everything prints out correctly. And that concludes this zine video. I'm so happy with how it came out, and it looks exactly how I pictured it in my head. So I'm just happy that everything worked out okay. Even though it's simple, I think that it still has a really nice message, and it's funny, it's heartfelt. It also looks like an iPhone, which is fun. I thought I would show you my favorite page, which is actually the first spread. I think it's funny because a lot of these screenshots were taken in 2020, and I don't remember who I was talking to anymore, but you know, we were there for each other. And I hope that we're still there for each other now. I think that these are just snapshots of a really interesting time in our lives, and I'm glad that I was able to capture that in this zine. So I'm really happy with this. A little announcement, but I'm trying to get all my zines on my Etsy. This one will be available in limited quantities on my Etsy shop, which can be found here. Check it out if you like, and I would be so happy to mail you one of these. And I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. The next video that I will be doing will be a punch needle video. I have a few projects going on right now that I'm excited to share, and I think it'll be fun to go back to where this channel all started. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Bye!